Hey, spooky friends. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. We're your horror besties, here to dissect our favorite and not so favorite horror movies, breaking down the screams, the scares, and everything sinister scene by scene. I'm Emma, and joining me as always is Ghostface. I mean, the wonderful Allie.
I just want to say happy Screezen.
Happy Screezen! Wow.
Today we're reviewing Scream 3. This is my Apex Mountain. I've been waiting for this day my entire life. Scream fucking 3, baby.
I also love this film. I'll tell you what, I loved it a lot more than 2.
I told Kevin, my husband, we were doing Scream 3 today, so he said, well, I need to see the second one. I didn't know he's never seen any other than the first original Scream.
Oh, that is blasphemy.
I'm a horrible wife.
Oh my goodness.
I know. So we watched the second one last night, and he said, oh, this is your favorite one. And I said, shut your mouth. Shut your dirty mouth right now. Of course it's not. Scream 2 is the worst one, I think.
I don't know if it's the worst in my opinion, but God, yeah.
We can leaderboard this later, but Scream 3 is my all-time favorite in the franchise. I couldn't tell you why, really. I'm excited to talk about it today.
You'll get into it.
Yes, absolutely. And if you haven't seen Scream 3, that's on you. You've had like 26 years. But this is your spoiler warning. We're going to talk all things Scream 3, so turn us off, go watch it, come back to us, or if you don't give a fuck, come on this stab-tastic ride with us.
Girl.
Ooh. Stab, stab, stab.
This film takes place in Hollywood this time as a new Ghostface starts killing the cast of Stab 3, which is a movie sequel whose previous movies were based on the Woodsboro and Windsor College killings, forcing the survivors of those previous attacks to confront terror once again.
Fuck yeah.
That's all I have to say is fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that there's a new setting this time. I think it's great that it's in Hollywood.
Technically, the second one was at Windsor College.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. But I really liked that we've branched out to a very superficial city. We're going to get a lot of those references throughout the film, too.
Absolutely, yeah.
Scream 3 was released February 4th of 2000 and set a record for the widest opening ever at 3,467 theaters across the US and Canada. It also grossed $162 million on a budget of $40 million.
Those numbers seem big and great, but by the time this came out, Scream 3, the reception was declining for this franchise. Yeah. This wasn't a Hail Mary pass, but it was starting to get there. You could see it. It obviously dropped off after Scream 2. So they needed something to revive its name.
Speaking of reception, it got a 5.7 out of 10 on IMDb, which isn't great, but isn't terrible. I'm truly not surprised by that score, I guess.
For Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter says 45%. Popcorn meter says 38%. I say, what the fuck is this blasphemy? Because if I look back at it and think about how this came out when we were, 9? Mm-hmm. I think it just hit perfectly at that nostalgic place. And me learning about movies I like and different kinds of genres. And I think this just sat right at a developing point in my brain. Yeah. So it just reminds me of childhood. Because I do love this movie, but at a certain point, I forget to pay attention and I forget that I'm watching this movie.
You also love camp. And there's a lot of campy elements in this film. I think you and I also both love a film that can sort of make fun of itself.
Yeah. And I think that at this point, again, in the franchise, it appreciates making fun of itself.
Yeah.
Every movie, if you look at it, actually it's kind of devolved from that at this point, but probably with the help of Scary Movie coming out. But it leaned into that comedy factor way more so, especially shown in 3.
The consensus, though, however, was that not everyone was on board, though, with that heavy lean into the comedy. There were critics that felt as though Scream had fallen so deep into the satire that rather than making fun of horror cliches, Scream 3 was really making fun of itself. Therefore, they didn't really take it seriously, I guess.
I think they didn't have an option but to do that based on circumstances that we'll probably talk about during the making of this film. B, put it in a good market for people like us who want the comedic horror.
There's a lot of reasons why Scream 3 is more funny than scary. One of those being the aftermath of Columbine. And Columbine happened just a few months before filming, and violence in the media began to be just really heavily scrutinized during this period. So a lot of people, not just in the Scream 3 world, but throughout like cinema and media, TV, film, they felt the need to sort of pull back a bit on the violence because all of America was living this very true horror that had happened. And part of that, too, was changing the setting from Woodsboro to Hollywood so that it could kind of distance itself from that narrative of small town killers because it just felt a little bit too real in that place and time.
Yeah.
This actually is what led Wes Craven to create the Woodsboro film set replicas and work them into the script so that viewers could still kind of have that nostalgic feeling of being in Woodsboro, but without directly having the film setting be there again. Something else that's kind of interesting, too, is that at one point, the studio went as far as demanding that the film featured no blood or violence on screen at all, which, if you know a Scream franchise, there's just no fucking way that that could happen. And Craven directly intervened. And some of the crew actually quote him saying, "Be serious, guys. Either we make a Scream movie or we make a movie and call it something else. But if it's a Scream movie, it's going to have certain standards."
I just think it's so crazy how we look at this that came out in 2000. So this is right after Columbine, right before 9/11. And we think about how this movie was being criticized for its violence. And compared to movies that are rated R now, are you fucking kidding me?
It doesn't even hold a candle.
Right.
No. And something else that just back to like Wes Craven too, unfortunately, this new pushback on violence in films also made Wes Craven kind of question and consider potentially leaving the horror genre. What the fuck? You're doing something to push Wes out? Hell no.
And you can see a lot of that frustration that he and the rest of the cast and crew felt reflected in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's very meta how this was happening in real life and then reflected on the screen.
Since the very first Scream film, Kevin Williamson was signed on to write 3 of the Scream films. But because he was so successful in the very, very first one, he had a lot going on. He had a lot of other projects happening and he had a lot of things going on. It was like a little bit hard for him to provide that full like writing credit. But he provided a detailed draft outline of the script, which ultimately had to be altered kind of as discussed per just what was happening in current events at that time. There was even a part where potentially Matthew Lillard was going to be maybe returning to reprise his role as Ghostface, but his role was then scrapped in the script rewrite. Then Aaron Kruger came on as a writer and fell extremely behind because of the anti-violence rewrite, and this caused pages of the script to be provided day of, which if you read about any kind of fun facts for this film, there's a lot that talks about how a lot of the cast, the crew, like it just seemed like a kerfluffle, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, basically they were getting handed the scripts when they're supposed to be filming the scenes. It just was all over the place. And it feels like a point in the franchise, in these people's lives, that they're like, we either got to go for it or say fuck it and make a fun and see what happens. And I feel like, between this movie, Scream 3 and Scream 4, it did take 11 years for something
That's true.
new to come out. But I think that this movie left enough of a shitty lasting impression to revive the franchise.
Speaking of a shitty lasting impression, shall we get into this? What did you say at the top? The stabtastic ride.
The stabtastic fucking classic. Cheers, bitch.
Cheers. We opened Scream 3 not in Woodsboro or Windsor College, but in West Hollywood, California. And we are immediately with Mr. Cotton Weary. And he's now like semi-famous after surviving Scream 2. And we find out pretty quickly that he hosts a trashy talk show. And he's very popular in LA and in Hollywood.
Yeah, we get a very exposition moment with him where he's driving home in LA on the phone with his agent, and he's talking about how he's on one of the highest rated TV shows in the country, and he's basically now got everything he's ever wanted. Because remember, in Scream 2, all he fucking wants is to be famous. That's exactly what he's running after. And now he's got this like kind of Jerry Springer-esque type show. And so he's driving home and he gets another call on the line, and it's actually somebody else. It sounds like a honey baby.
A random girl, though. Like someone he does not know.
It's this girl. She's like, who is this? And he's like, who's this? They're kind of like flirting, and he gets back to his agent, and he's like, hey, I got to call you back. I have this girl. He fucking hangs up on his agent to talk to this random honey. And Cotton says, are you a big 100% Cotton fan? And she says 110%. I just love that 100% Cotton is the name of his TV show.
The producer and I made a point to call that out when we rewatched it too, is we were like, fuck, that's good.
Brilliant marketing.
So good.
What a name. And anyway, so he's on this phone with this random. He's like flirting, and then this random girl says, well, what would your girlfriend say? And Cotton says, what makes you think I have a girlfriend? And then we switch into Ghostface. He says, I'm standing outside her room. And now Cotton is rightfully freaked out.
And it's very much Ghostface voice, and he's threatening and saying like he has Christine.
Yeah, he's saying, where's Sidney? So we've now graduated from what's your favorite scary movie to where's Sidney? And so we can tell now that's the end of what he wants. The outcome is to know where Sidney is.
He's like, let's cut right to the fucking chase here.
Yeah, so he then hangs up and races home to try and probably save his girlfriend. Okay, now Cotton is all concerned when he was just ready to fuck some random girl on the phone.
Oh,
Totally. We get a shot of his girlfriend, Christine, played by Lily Vanderwoodson.
You mean Kelly Rutherford.
She looks good.
Yeah, she looks great. She's like getting out of the shower, and she has no idea anything is going on. So it's not like Ghostface has her hostage. Ghostface is just in the house watching her, and she doesn't know yet. Like you mentioned, Cotton is frantically trying to race home.
Yes, and we've got this. She's like stepping out of the shower, and she drops her towel in a way that's very reminiscent of Heather Graham in Stab 2, or in Stab and Scream 2. And Cotton is trying to call the house to talk to Christine, but we see the landline has been cut. So I'm just curious as to why he wouldn't be calling Christine's cell phone.
I think it was just a different time where people just aren't as attached to their cell phones. I mean, this is 2000, right? So people don't have iPhones. Yeah. I think the T-Mobile Sidekick maybe hasn't even come out yet. Who knows? But something else I want to add to this part before we glaze over it.
Oh, God.
Is that the stereo starts playing. And what else does it fucking play but fucking Creed?
Talk about 2000.
I love it.
Oh, my God. Cotton would.
He would.
Christine is still technically home alone, but she hears Cotton, or who she thinks is Cotton, who might be at the door. And we see his face, or we hear his voice. We don't see him. And she's saying, oh, Cotton, I don't want to play your stab games. I don't want to play these stupid games. And we're like, okay, Christine, what are his stab games? Tell us more. And then Ghostface finally jumps out, and we see that it was mimicking Cotton's voice. So now we know this new technology has been introduced to mimic real people's voices.
This has upped the ante extremely. And can I just say, watching this as a 2026 person that is living in the current times and knowing what's happening out in the world with deepfakes and scamming, and literally warning my parents that if they ever get a call demanding for my ransom, that we need to have a safe word so that they know it's actually me. This was so ahead of its time.
I know, for real.
Like, it's so crazy.
It's crazy how advanced shit got so quickly. Yeah.
Did you have any thought, and it's totally okay if you didn't, but did you think at all that maybe there was no sort of device involved and it was literally just someone that good at doing people's voices?
Honestly, I don't know, because my 9-year-old brain probably would have thought something like that.
I think because we're introduced to the voice changer in the very first film, if we didn't have that, I might have been like, holy shit, this is Hollywood. This guy's good. But because we know that the voice changer is part of it, it's still, just something worth mentioning.
And now, we have AI that can do absolutely anything. It's terrifying.
Scary. But back to Christine and her attack.
So Cotton gets back to his house. He looks nervous. Obviously, his house is a little ransacked. And he starts to search for Christine. And something funny here is while he's looking for Christine, he grabs a fire poker for protection. And he takes his jacket off. And Liev Schreiber actually wanted production to put this in there because he wanted to show off his arms that he'd been working so hard on.
honestly, love that.
Good for him.
Ask for what you want.
Literally good for him. Anyway, so he's holding this fire poker, but Christine comes out swinging a golf club at Cotton because she fucking thinks he's after her, obviously.
Yeah, she hasn't been killed by Ghostface, but was simply attacked and found her way to, I think she hides in like a closet or something, right? And that's when she attacks Cotton.
Yeah, they go into an office and she's like rightfully swinging at him. And then Ghostface actually comes up behind her and like kills her.
Yeah. And it's sad because at first she's almost questioning Cotton.
Yeah.
She's like, bro, you've taken these fucking stab games a little too far and I'm not down with this. So it's kind of sad because she probably dies potentially thinking Cotton has something to do with it. And it's like it's really kind of a bummer.
That is a bummer. But she's murdered and then Cotton
but she's murdered. Anyways.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. She's murdered and then Cotton actually does get a good fight against Ghostface, but then inevitably gets killed.
Yeah. Sad.
And actually, before Ghostface kills him, he says, basically, you should have just told me where Sidney was. Now you lose. So now we know that's, like we said, that's what he wants. End all be all is where is Sidney. And don't you think that, why would he go to Cotton as his first choice to get to Sidney? Go to fucking Gale or Dewey or something.
I had that thought too. And the only reason I could think of was that Cotton can sometimes just be he's easily motivated to.
True.
I don't know what Ghostface had up his sleeve, but maybe he had some sort of bargaining chip or bargaining tool. And Cotton just being so self-centered and stuff, he's probably the first guy to really give something up in exchange for his life.
Yeah, if he had the information, though, like, why would he have that? If you remember at the end of Scream 2, he and Sidney kind of just said, well, that was fucked up, and kind of nodded in as like they kind of just looked at each other and said, we're even, and parted ways.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're fucking catching up and talking about reality TV. It's not like he would have her number.
That's true. That is very true.
Well,
I guess we'll never know.
He's so
dead.
Far. Yeah. Then we get our iconic Scream 3 title card. You always like know in these movies where it's going to be put.
Oh yeah. It's very anticipatory.
I love the consistency.
Those were both crispy words.
Those were crispy. That's funny because I'm drinking an Olipop crisp apple.
A crisp apple.
Can't tell if I like it or not, but I'm going to keep drinking it.
I have a couple questions for you before we fully dive into the film. How did you feel about Cotton dying first? Technically, I guess Christine, but you get it. Him as main character.
Christine who? I'm sorry. I like Kelly Rutherford. I like that he was killed first. I think it made a lot of sense in terms of moving the plot forward because, like I said, when we left Cotton, he had basically helped Sidney and Gale kill the killers and sort of split ways amicably, nodded and said, okay, bye forever. But we know that Cotton, all he wanted was fame. So now to open with him getting what he wanted, he's this big Hollywood man dating this hot ass bitch.
And it still wasn't enough.
And it still, it still couldn't save him and his, cotton shirt that shows off his arms. And I think that it ties it. It's not a random. So this is a first time we know the character who's getting killed first. Because in the first one, we didn't know Casey and Steven. In the second one, we didn't know Jada Pinkett Smith and her boyfriend. In this one, we know Cotton. So it's kind of tying everything back together and jump-starting us to get to where we're going. And I think it also sets the tone of we in Hollywood now, bitch.
It also is a gut punch immediately. To your point, having a character that is more well-established, who's been in the first couple films now, and holy shit, we're just going to start right out of the gate with killing him. For what this film lacks, maybe in the violence and the gore and whatever people want to complain about it being too comedic and not as much horror focused, I think that first main kill of Cotton was super effective to set a tone.
It made a lot of sense.
Yep, fully agree.
And then it kind of all starts to not make any more sense. But we started strong.
We started strong. And then we immediately cut to Sidney. And she's living in a rural Northern California town. And she's living under an alias, apparently. And she's living really low.
This scene kills me because she's living in this beautiful setting. She walks into this, craftsman home out in the middle of these beautiful woods. And I want to know how the fuck she can afford to live there. And then I say to myself, does she get residuals from her likeness in these stab films and whatnot?
These are the details that we don't know. We need to see the contracts.
Honestly, maybe moving forward, we suspect Sidney because she should be getting all these residuals. She should want the killers, the killings to keep happening. But anyway, she lives in this beautiful house that she probably can't afford. And she works at home as a women's hotline counselor.
Honestly, great. Good for her.
It's a perfect fit for her. She doesn't have to have people know her real identity. She can work from home. She's got crisis under her belt,
and can feel like she's helping people in some way. I think Sidney guilts herself a lot of the time for being a survivor.
Yeah.
And so this is probably a weird way that she satisfies a small itch.
Yeah, it helps her feel like she's contributing in some way, even though she's isolated herself to the nth degree.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie makes sure that we are very aware she has like 72 locks. Like, we get it.
Yeah. She's intentionally cutting herself off of the world in order to survive.
But this is her connection to it.
Yeah.
That and her dog.
Oh, her cute little dog. Then we cut immediately to Gail, and Gail is living a very separate life. She is speaking at like some sort of college or something, having a public speaking engagement, and she's talking about her experience with Ghostface, and I think it's covering like her book also. It's like kind of probably like a book tour thing, and all I have to say here is holy shit, the bangs.
The bangs. These bangs are fried into my brain. And I swear, Gail's hair is different in every film, but in each film it is a character. Like last movie, it was all the red streaks.
I am just so...
Like, who said yes?
And why did Courtney Cox agree?
So allegedly, David Arquette, they had just gotten married and come back for their honeymoon.
And he thought it was hot?
Allegedly, he suggested the haircut.
What?
Woof. No wonder they're divorced.
Those bangs would work on like a punk rock Gale Weathers who like has a really fun, cute little punk vibe going on.
No.
But it does not hit.
No, it doesn't work in any facet. In no way. No version of Gale needs those bangs.
I cannot handle it. It's so funny.
I know. I mean, it was probably hard to hear her because those bangs were so goddamn loud. But yes, she was lecturing about stab, and then she actually gets called out by one of the students in the lecture who says basically, hey Gail, didn't you like stab everybody in the back to get where you are? And she was like, yeah, I did, so what? Any kind of redemptive arc she might have had coming from the second one was lost. She was kind of getting a little bit more sensitive to everything that was happening, and now she's back in full bitch, full Hollywood. She's on Total Entertainment, which is like an e-news outlet kind of situation. So she's just gone full Hollywood thinking about herself.
She's still the self-serving Gale Weathers that we all know and love.
Yeah, I still love it.
Same. After this lecture, Gail immediately gets introduced to Detective Kincaid, who's played by Patrick Dempsey, hottie, who alerts her about Cotton's death and how he died along with the killing of his girlfriend. The killer left a photo of a young Maureen Prescott, who is Sidney's mom.
So two things here is Patrick Dempsey. Obviously, we all know and love him from mostly Grey's Anatomy. And I can't believe there's a world in which this came out before Grey's. This was before he was McDreamy.
Isn't that crazy?
Detective Kincaid was pre-McDreamy.
Wild.
Isn't that crazy? Also, they hired Patrick Dempsey 3 fucking days before production started.
I did not know that at all.
I wonder what led to them needing to fill a role. Did somebody drop out? Did they write this role in 3 days before?
This also makes me so curious of like how often that happens in Hollywood. And I actually would love someone to do a documentary on how actors like learn their lines and what the process usually is. Like, I could go down like a rabbit hole on that, but I'm always so curious about the process.
Yeah, especially because Patrick specifically had like 3 heavy dialogue scenes. So he had to learn those, on the fly.
Yeah.
Also, you get a call, hey, you need to be in Vancouver in 3 days because you're going to be in Scream 3. Way to change your life in a second.
Truly. Something I want to mention though is that one of my favorite films that he is in, and the reason I know who he is from Can't Buy Me Love.
I knew you were going to say that for some reason.
Maybe a little bit of a deep cut, guys, but go watch that film.
I've never seen it.
He's fantastic in it. Anyways, moving on. Detective Kincaid, he also, after telling Gail all of this stuff, which is kind of random, why go immediately to Gail? But anyways, or you can go to her and question her, but why are you giving her all these details? He tells her not to share the picture with anyone. She's the fucking press, but okay, whatever. Then back with Sidney, the news is on in the background of her house as she's, working or doing whatever. And she also learns of Cotton's murder. And you can tell that she's immediately holy fucking shit.
Yeah, because remember, not too long ago, they parted ways, but they did help each other throughout this another killing spree. So they have this shared history. So now she's probably fucking shook that A, Cotton's dead, and B, something else is probably starting again.
I think this is also a realistic trauma progression for Sidney a little bit too, because there is so much that's happened to her, right? That she survived through. I mean, even before we saw Scream, the first film, she had to deal with her mother's death or her mother's murder, actually. And then we see everything that she had to deal with there, everything she had to deal with in college. Now she seemingly has this safe life, or what she thinks is safe. And then she's learning that she's actually not as safe as she thought she was.
Though I'm sure she's always got some level of guard up. But now this is at least too close to home again.
Yep. Then we are quickly thrust back into Hollywood.
Why you gotta say thrust?
I don't know.
Ew.
I just chose it.
Ew.
We're in Hollywood and we are at the production set for Stab 3, Return to Woodsboro.
Yeah, we get this epic shot revealing that studio set for Stab 3 on Sunrise Studios, which is your typical Paramount or Warner Brothers or
iconic.
whatever.
Supposed to be iconic.
Definitely iconic filming situation. And we get our other iconic Red Right Hand playing in the background. So
yeah.
A really cool shot to set us up in Hollywood.
And the news is fucking everywhere. They're trying to get a glimpse of the set, glimpse of the movie. I'm sure it also has a little bit something to do with Cotton's death as well. It's holy shit, we knew you guys were filming this movie, but did you know Cotton just got fucking killed? And
yeah,
people are automatically thinking it's Ghostface.
Yeah, they're definitely swarming with looky-loos for sure.
Yeah.
So we're on the set of Stab 3 and everything's kind of in chaos. The studio execs, the cast and crew are all sitting around the set of Sidney's house in Woodsboro. And that kind of ties back into what we were saying. Wes Craven wanted to have that set reflected in this movie as well.
Yeah.
So they're all sitting around that set in the studio just talking about how these murders are potentially tied to this film. And we see our director of the film, Roman, and he's played by Scott Foley. I didn't know this was his first movie.
I had no idea either. So cool.
And if you don't know who that is, he's of Felicity fame. And he's low-key cute hot. You know what I mean?
He's
cute hot.
nerdy cute?
Yeah, cute hot.
Cute hot. Cute first.
Cute first.
Hot later.
Leads with the cute.
Leads with cute.
Yes, leads with cute. He basically says, so if we stop making scary movies, what? All the psychos in the world will retire? Like I said, we're going to start to see what was actually happening in this film production reflected in the movie. So the people who are being told, tone down the violence, tone down the killing, tone down the blood, are now saying, so what if we just stop doing that? It's going to stop all this in the world?
Yep. And he also is panicking, doesn't want to kill the movie. And he's like...
He literally says, you're trying to kill my movie.
Yeah. he's freaking the fuck out, rightfully so.
And the studio execs actually asked the police if there's any reason that Cotton's death should be linked to the movie. And the cops are like, dude, he was making a movie called Stab. He was stabbed.
No connection.
No.
None at all. None at all.
Cops.
Then I love this part because we start meeting some of the actors who are playing the fictional versions of the real survivors of Woodsboro. And first off, we have Jennifer Jolie, and this is played by Parker Posey. We fucking love her. Love that gal.
I think she wins this movie.
She absolutely does. And speaking of her name, Jennifer Jolie, I think I read somewhere that all of these like actor within Stab, their names are plays off of real actors in real life.
They're actor names.
Actor names.
In the movie.
Yes. Yeah. So fun. Then
and specifically with Jennifer Jolie, you've got Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie. And it's funny because this was going on during Friends, and obviously we know that Courtney Cox is friends with Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah. So fun.
And
so
also
fun.
they mentioned that Jennifer Jolie, that character, dates Brad Pitt in this film.
Love it. It's such a clear tie.
Yeah.
You know, they're trying to make these like funny little odes. Yeah.
Dewey is also on set, and he works as a consultant. And can you imagine just getting a job where you're just consulting on your life experience?
It's very surprising seeing him on a Hollywood set. And Gail eventually arrives wanting to investigate Cotton's death, and she runs into Dewey. And by the way, she also hides a little camera in her purse to try to get some intel. And I love this because her purse has this like cute little design with holes in it. And we get like a POV from the camera of what it's seeing through her purse. And it's really cute.
Not to mention she's wearing an electric yellow power suit. And the purse is matching electric color.
So cute. She's always got the good little suits.
Yeah, she does.
And Jennifer, again, like we mentioned, played by Parker Posey, who is portraying Gail in Stab 3, rushes over to her, telling her that, you know, Gail, you're such an inspiration. And oh my gosh, I've been channeling you and da-da-da-da-da. And Gail like totally brushes her off. It's giving similar energy to Debbie in Scream 2.
Seriously, it's like never meet your heroes, or maybe just don't meet Gail Weathers.
Jennifer's hair also matches Gail's streaky hair from Scream 2, which I absolutely fucking love.
Also, something great I love about these power suits is she's wearing the power suit, the green power suit that Courtney Cox wore in Scream, the original Scream.
So cool.
Just all these bright, bold electric colors for Gail Weathers.
So fun.
Love
so
it.
fun. Gail and Dewey are chatting, and it seems like they haven't seen each other in a while. So they have absolutely lost touch since we left everyone at the end of Scream 2.
And I was trying to remember how they left each other at Scream 2. And I think that they left each other together still. Dewey actually calls Gail out for using the purse camera because he's the one that gave it to her.
Yeah.
Aw.
I know, sad.
And then Tom, the guy who's playing Dewey, walks up to Gail and Dewey, and she put some shady ass shit in the tabloids about him. And he's like, bitch, I hope you didn't park in the lot. Wouldn't want anything to happen to your fucking car.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a threat.
So she's she has a lot of good luck so far getting along with the cast.
Yeah. Something cool, though, about her meeting up with Dewey unexpectedly is that she's able to kind of share with him some of the intel that she learned from Detective Kincaid. So she shows Dewey the Maureen picture, but he apparently already knew. And they also discussed together if Sidney should know, because it doesn't seem like anyone has contacted her directly about it yet.
Gail keeps getting all this attention on set, and one of the studio exec comes up and says, Gail Weathers, and she's all, yes, it's me. And they're like, get her the fuck off set. Nobody wants her on set. No press on set.
No press.
And so they drag her away, and something that kills me every time is Dewey quietly says, rules are rules, Gail. But really, it was nice seeing you. Like, okay, sick burn, Dewey. She can't even hear you.
He literally doesn't have a mean bone in his body. He cannot, like, actually give a real
just
insult.
the way he says it, and the fact that she can't even fucking hear you. I just like, what the fuck?
Sick burn. I also love that when they kick her out, there is literally this random cameo of Jay and Silent Bob. I think they're doing a studio tour or something, and we just see them, and they're like, don't they say like, oh, there's Gail Weathers or something?
No, they say, oh, look, it's Connie. Like Connie Chung. I love that they're not Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith. They're Jay and Silent Bob characters in this movie.
Yeah, it's so funny.
And I was listening to a review of this movie, and some people thought that putting them in here as cameos was bringing them out of the horror of the film. And I was like, bitch, fuck off.
Everything can live together.
Everything can live together. And I think what's also fun is Wes Craven actually makes a cameo in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back the year after this. There's room for all the love.
This is what makes films fun, is doing these little Easter egg moments and doing these little odes. Y'all know, if you're a horror fan, there are always odes usually to other horror films. Why not branch out and include some other ones, you know? I think it's just fun, personally.
There's room for everyone in the sandbox.
There is. So then back with Sidney, her dad is now with her, and they are discussing her mom and how her mom had seemingly a lot of secrets.
And I want to know why do I always feel like the dad is dead in the movie? I feel like every time he shows up in a Scream film, I'm like, oh yeah.
I think it's probably because he has narrowly escaped death.
Is he in the second one?
I can't remember.
Why is no one asking if he's okay? He lost his wife.
I know.
Who was cheating on him? Like, is he okay?
By the way.
Also, in this scene, he and Sidney are talking about her, and Sidney's like, do you think things would have been different if she were different? And I'm like, are you saying if your mom weren't a slut?
Oh.
And is this entire franchise based on the fact that we're slut shaming Maureen Prescott?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right.
Yeah, we're blaming her for just being a little bit promiscuous, I guess.
Wow.
Nevertheless, her dad begs her to come home. He says it feels like as if she doesn't exist. And she kind of quips back with, well, Dad, psychos can't kill what they can't find, which is true. And we've seen that from the very beginning of the film with Ghostface has already expressed, where is Sidney? That is his biggest gripe right now, is that he actually can't find her and can't terrorize her. So it's like clearly eating him up.
I was thinking about it and I was like, is there a world in which we actually can't find Sidney? I feel like I'm not victim shaming or Sidney shaming. Kind of am, though, because I don't really like her as a character. But she's not trying hard enough. Yeah, she has 72 locks on her doors and she lives out in the wilderness. Go to the middle of Japan. I don't know.
I thought about the same thing, too. Like, why pick that spot?
You're like in the same state.
So one thing I thought about is that there are hundreds and hundreds of people almost every day probably that are in witness protection that get very similar situations. They get provided an alias, a new identity, move to a new town, have a new job, all of these things, right? And that is purposely so that people involved in whatever case that they were a part of cannot find them. As much as I agree with you, like, go to a fucking island or something and like change how you look, because she also looks the same, by the way.
She's like wearing the same outfit.
No, truly, and her hair is exactly the same, pretty much. I agree with you. She could have easily done that, but I also took myself back to that time. And I think it was a lot harder to find people back then. We did not have the wealth of information that we have online today. I'd be like, girl, I'll find you in 2 seconds, which is terrifying.
Have you ever seen the picture this on TikTok where you just send one picture of the most obscure thing you can ever see? It's like one picture of a field. Or
yes, the guy that finds
can find you.
Yes, yeah.
He can find it.
He's terrifying, but also so smart.
Fascinating.
I know, it's so fascinating.
Yes, so that was not like this in 2000, but even so, get out of the same state. I'm fairly certain she's still in Northern California based on the look. Like, go to fucking upstate New York.
Yeah, she could go to another country. Go to Canada.
Try a little harder.
Go to Mexico.
And who are you staying in Woodsboro for or that area for? Your dad? He'll move with you.
Girl.
What's he doing? We don't even know.
We don't know, but he wants her to come home.
Exactly.
Then later that night, Sidney has a dream about her mom outside in the night and suddenly wakes up and sees her mom outside of her window.
Okay.
And this was...
Why is this the scariest part of the film?
That's what I wrote in my notes. I was like, honestly, this is the scariest part of the entire movie. Like, her mom looks like Reagan from The Exorcist.
Honestly, if you really, you know what's so funny is I typically look away during the scene because it really scared me as a kid.
Oh.
And today I looked. When I was rewatching it, I looked. She doesn't even look that scary, but like just how her face is glowing and the concept of it. She's just like hovering in the woods in this long white gown and her hair's kind of frazzled and she's like, Sidney. I don't know, lives in my brain as so scary.
Something about windows also scare me. Like when I was a kid, my bedroom faced the outside of our house. And I remember I'd be so fucking paranoid if there was even a crack in my window at night when I was going to bed. I just felt like someone was watching me.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
And I think that the outside where Maureen is, it looks like what could have been my backyard too.
Ugh, spooky.
So I think that's so funny that we both said, holy shit, this is the scariest part. Honestly, in any of this, the entire franchise, this is the scariest part.
Fully agree.
Maybe it's the nightgown.
Something that her mom says, though, before she gets out of this dream state is she says, everything you touch, Sid, dies. You're just like me. So obviously, Sidney's fears, her her trauma, it's now coming up in her dreams. Then her mom turns into Ghostface in her dream, and she is finally able to fully wake up, and it was all a nightmare.
So, like, do we think that Maureen was a good person?
Okay. Yes and no. Obviously, we know that she cheated on her husband, right? We know that she maybe did some other questionable things too. But people also have many layers. And just because someone does like one thing doesn't automatically make them like the worst person in the world. Maybe she has a lot of redeeming qualities. Obviously, Sid has not completely written her off. She still cares about her mother a lot and has a lot of trauma from her mom's murder and for all of the things that have happened since. So I don't know. I don't know if we can give it like a blanket good person or bad
and there's
person.
Definitely there's no definite good or bad. But do we think she's
yeah, she probably wasn't the best.
She'd be talking shit to Sidney right here. You're just like me.
But it's not really her. I mean,
Okay.
it's just her nightmare.
We'll see.
Back at the stab set, we are with Sarah Darling, played by Jenny McCarthy, who is playing Candy in the script. I don't think that she has a direct tie, right, to any of like the people from Woodsboro, but she sort of reminded me of maybe like a Tatum.
Yeah, she's the token hot girl, if you will.
Yeah.
And she rolls up to the studio office in her metallic blue convertible, and her license plate says Darling. You're meant to tell that she hates that she's in this movie. She's like, I need a new fucking agent, and she does not want to be there. Also, have you ever seen The Masked Singer?
I have seen only clips.
Okay.
I know what it is.
Okay.
And I know that's your new addiction.
It's my new addiction. Who knew? And she's a judge. I don't know what makes her judge worthy, but she's a judge.
I always think about her in the most random capacities, like the fact that she was with Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah.
Because I'm like, I love Jim Carrey, and I'm so curious like how their relationship was.
I have that image of them walking on the beach and he's wearing like a singlet. Burned in my brain.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
so good.
good show. Good show.
Good show.
Yeah.
So anyways, Sarah is at the studio. She hears a couple of like strange noises and gets a little bit freaked out, but then quickly finds out that it's just Tyson and another guy, like their prosthetic, like makeup guy. And they're just kind of like messing with her because they were doing some makeup, and Tyson had like some fake scissors through his head doing some makeup tests.
My thought is, damn, that's kind of a weird death, is to have scissors in your head. Like, doesn't really go with the stab killings.
No,
but
not really.
Especially he's like not Randy, but he's a Randy type. So
Randy adjacent.
I'm like, what happened to make this happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
She asks him if he's seen Roman, because apparently Roman had asked her to meet about something important, but she wasn't sure exactly what it was. Tyson and the makeup guy, they leave. She's by herself again, and she's waiting in Roman's office. And as she's in there, she gets a call from Roman saying that he's running a little bit late, but he will be right there.
And I love that actually it's Roman that calls his own office. I'm like, who calls their own office, and then also who picks up someone calling in an office that's not yours?
Different time. I think people just picked up random ass phones.
Why does no one have a cellular? But I also love how, what's her name? Candy? What's her name? Sarah? Candy Sarah Darling? Fuck. Wendy?
Candy Darling Sarah.
Where are we? Peter Pan? Okay. I love that she's playing with one of Robin's music video awards, and she accidentally breaks the head off.
It's so funny. And it does come up a little bit later.
It does. But yeah, she's like in a pissy mood, just like, fuck, all right, Roman, what do we do? You're on the phone, sure.
Yeah, and they talk about her not being super happy with her part and how she gets killed so quickly. He, on the phone, is like, okay, while you're waiting for me to get there, why don't we like run a few lines together? And she agrees. Suddenly, though, as they're running these lines, he reads a line wrong, and he says her real name, which she kind of clocks as being a little bit strange.
She also says, God, is there another rewrite? If they keep doing this, like, we're never going to get to film.
Which is so meta.
It's so meta.
The real movie.
Exactly. But then because obviously she would be frustrated, and then Ghostface obviously continues, and she's like, oh, fuck, it's Ghostface. She's like obviously freaking the fuck out, and she runs into a room surrounded by dozens of the Ghostface costumes, and she actually, rather than calling the fucking cops, she calls the studio. Why would you do that?
I have no freaking idea. My only thought process was that she's calling the studio to get in touch with security because they may just be able to get there faster. Like, but girl, just call the police.
Just call the police.
Yeah.
Probably takes less time. 911, 3 buttons.
And what do you guys know? One of those freaking 25 Ghostface or whatever ends up attacking her, and they have a cat and mouse little chase until he finally stabs her to death. Then we cut immediately to Gail and Dewey, and they're having a lovely little lunch.
No, it's not Gail and Dewey. It's Gail and Dewey and her bangs.
Oh, God. Okay, yeah, all three of them.
All
three. And they're having a lovely little lunch talking about their relationship and why things didn't work out. So I like this part because we tend to not get answers to questions, but this kind of gave us at least a little bit of context.
Yeah, we got some exposition here. Because in the beginning, I was saying, well, how did we leave Dewey and Gail? Like, why did they split up and what happened there? But apparently, Gail stayed in Woodsboro for a bit to help Dewey heal because he's always fucking getting hurt. Who knows? I don't know which injury
he's
this
always
was.
In rehabilitation of some sort.
But then, obviously, Gail got sick of the small town life and had to leave for Hollywood. And now she's like, what the fuck, Dewey? You're in Hollywood, too, and you're not with me. Like, A plus B equals sock. Why are we not together if you are here, too?
A plus B does not equal bangs.
Yeah, bangs. Sorry, I just screamed. Don't blame me, bang the bangs.
Anyways.
Bang,
Bang, bang, bang, bang. Anyways, Gail is trying to get some stuff out of Dewey. She's trying to find out as much as she can since he's like so close to the set. And obviously Cotton was a part of the movie at some point. And he spills that someone tried to steal Sid's original file, I believe, from Woodsboro, like from the Woodsboro Police Department. And someone had called from the film trying to ask for the file. And he knows that it was someone trying to like just gather some more research on Sidney, but he had been able to remove it ahead of time because he had felt like someone on the film was trying to find Sidney and he wanted to intervene.
And obviously Gail's like, this is some hot tea. And Dewey's like, bitch, I said off the record. Do you know what? I don't understand on the record versus off the record because like if you say it, you've said it. How could you... Where's the legality?
Okay, totally. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I understand, when you say something off the record to a reporter, you're kind of saying like, hey, there's an agreement between us that you are not going to use this in any sort of report or any sort of publication. This is like between you and I. It's just like kind of a way to be like, don't say anything. Do not use this in your reporting duties.
I'm not very litigious, but I'm pretty sure you can break that verbal pact.
And I'm sure people do. But then that's how they burn bridges because also reporters and stuff, they thrive on having good relationships with people.
What happens when it's your ex, though?
She could probably toe the line a little bit with Dewey.
I think so.
She could
toe something.
She has him wrapped around her bangs. You know what I mean?
Oh, God. They're not long enough, girl.
That's true. That is true. Dewey then gets a call that he needs to go meet with Jennifer. And Gail decides to tag along.
I love this so much because we get to spend a little bit more time with Parker Posey or Jennifer Jolie, if you will. This is like Parker Posey's best work.
She's good in this.
Everything she does is so immaculate, but I love her in this. If you see her here, she's so 2000s with her outfit, her little, what are those jeans we hate because they go so low rise?
Oh, yeah.
She's got like her low rise jeans with her platform flip-flops and her belly chain and her little pigtails and her streaks in her hair. I love it. She looks...
Doesn't she wear capris at some point, too?
Oh, I'm sure she does.
I just feel like there were some capris.
She's like Angelina Jolie. Excuse me. What's her name? Jennifer Jolie? What the fuck? Okay. Jennifer is stressing the fuck out and she's mad because it's making her smoke. And I'm saying, girl, you just need your lorazepam. She's an icon.
Popper, no. She's like, Gail, no.
Gail, no. Dewey, no. Ghostface, no.
Ghostface, I like that one. Something that's I love about this scene too is that they are at Jennifer's property and we find out that Dewey has a trailer on her property. And so Gail's flipping out. She's like, you fucking live with her? And it's just like so funny.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, she makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
And then he does this line that I love how they give David Arquette these wordy, big sentences. And he like barely can get them out. I don't know why it bothers me so much, but it's just so funny. David Arquette, I love you, but like this makes me laugh every time. But you say, if you weren't so concerned with your pretensions and appearances, you would be able to appreciate the positivity and emotional centeredness I can provide a woman. And him just spitting that out is basically how I read it. So.
He's obviously got some feelings.
Yeah. It's hard to get that out of your body, I guess. But also, basically, Gail's like, what the fuck, you live here? And he's like, yeah, bitch, I do. She says I make her feel safe. Yeah. Which I don't get. Dewey, there's nothing safe about you, but okay. You're like a little baby doll that can get hurt at any second.
Who knows? And speaking of not safe, they all learn while they're there that Sarah, darling, was murdered at the studio. And they say, like, someone's killing them, it seems, within the order that they die in the movie. And so based on that, Jennifer is potentially going to be the one to be killed next.
Gail's like, who dies next in the script? What's going on? And Jennifer says, who gets killed next? You do. And then she looks all exacerbated, and she hops so daintily into Patrick Warburton's arms. It's so cute. I love her. She's such an icon.
Warburton?
Patrick Warburton.
Warburton or Warburton?
I
was like, is that not the goddamn cutest last name I've ever heard in my life?
I said it was so certain.
You were so certain. I was like, and then you said it again.
I'm like, yeah, Warburton, bitch. What do you think?
Oh, but I like that. That's so cute.
Our little button. Okay. Anyways.
Little cronk button.
Little cronk button. Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. Dewey then basically says, like, I gotta go. I gotta take care of Jennifer. And by the way, Stone, who is played by Mr. Warburton, he is like a more elevated security. So even though Jennifer has Dewey living in his trailer on her property to quote unquote make her feel safe, she actually has a legit security guard.
And he makes fun of Dewey, and he's basically he says, fuck off, Dewey. But I love that he calls him Deputy Dewdrop.
Yeah. He's such a good addition to this film.
He's great, but for real, if Jennifer has a stone, you don't really need a Dewey, but all right. Collect those men.
I love, though, that Dewey tries to boss him around, though. He's like, okay, Stone, so I gotta go. You watch Jennifer.
All right, Dewdrop.
He's like, fuck off. I just love Parker Posey in this. I know we already talked about it, but can we just talk about like how her comic relief is literally gold?
I honestly think it, like I was saying earlier, it helped teeter with the comedic relief, because I know that some people maybe thought it was too leaning heavily on the comedic relief. Like I said, I think this got into a sweet spot with it, and she really helped get it into that sweet spot. She was a little sprinkles on top.
Follow-up question. Does Gail's character feel a little sidelined compared to the first two films?
No, I don't think so. I agree. I think Jennifer enhances her character. We learn more about Gail because of Jennifer.
Yep. Fully agree.
Low-key like Jennifer way more than Gail.
And how are you feeling now that we have had several locations in this Hollywood setting? How are we feeling having it be different than Woodsboro or like Windsor College?
Honestly, I probably like it better because there's more familiarity to like the Hollywood vibe of it, you know? Mm-hmm. Scream does this thing about having the second half just be in one location that I don't care for. And we're going to get to that location that I don't care for. But at the second half of each film, it just hones in on where a lot of the killing's going to take place. And I'm just like, ugh, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But what do you think? I mean, to me, it's neither here nor there because we're going to end up in a fucking second half location anyways.
I like that we're in a totally different place because it's such a... Like in Hollywood, you can literally be walking down the street and someone could be in a Ghostface costume and you don't know if it's really Ghostface or someone just cosplaying, right? And I think Hollywood is so known for actors and like the glitz and glam and what's real and what's not. It's almost like a fairy tale land in a lot of ways.
It's ripe for horror.
Yes.
In so many ways because it is so emotionally charged just naturally because of the nature of Hollywood. It definitely promotes great energy for horror films and horrific circumstance. I just think it's funny that Ghostface is going to somewhere so densely populated and
I know.
So focused on finding people when obviously that's the opposite of where she would be.
Yeah. It's also funny how there's just like horror actors are surviving a horror movie within a horror movie. So it brings it all back to that like meta self-aware satire piece. And I think the Hollywood setting like totally leans into that and lends itself to it.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's a big having it be in Hollywood is just a nail in the coffin, a nail in the fuck you coffin, if you will, saying to everybody that was saying change the film, just like fuck you.
You freaking heard it here first.
Or probably somewhere else.
Or probably somewhere else. Oh, goodness. Okay.
So we're back with Detective Kincaid and his team who are working on Sarah's murders, and they've found more photos of Maureen Prescott. We can start here really getting little sprinkles of Detective Kincaid as a red herring, kind of just teeing us up to maybe think he has something to do with the killings. The scene here, he's with his partner cop duo guy, and he's talking about in movies how one of the cops in a cop duo usually gets killed. So we're just kind of hearing these things that are meant to throw us off a bit.
This might be not direct, but to me, it also gave a little bit of an ode to like Randy and like the rules, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is what usually happens in this type of setting or in this type of movie.
It always comes back to knowledge about films.
It really, really does.
Dewey and Gail are now back with Kincaid too, and he's talking about the new photos that they found of Maureen. And something kind of fun is those photos that we keep seeing of Maureen are actually real modeling photos of the woman who played Maureen.
Wait, that's so fun.
So kind of cute.
Kind of cute.
And also kind of cool for her to like relive and let those live on forever.
It reminds me of Moira saying,
"Oh,
you know,
take the pictures.
Take the pictures of your naked body and your little boobies.
Take the nudes while you can."
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Too soon.
I know.
Knowledgeable. So they're all there, and Dewey's saying, hey, we need to give Jennifer extra security because she's potentially dying as according to the next script. And Kincaid's like, yo, there's actually 3 versions of the script with 3 people dying. So we don't know what the fuck's actually going to happen. And that's funny because that's exactly how they did it in real life. They had 3 versions of the ending of the movie.
I love all of these real little odes within the film of shit that was actually happening.
Just 2 big thumbs up.
Yep.
And we see Roman is pissed off because his movie's being shut down, and he wonders if he's going to be the next big target because of the statue he found in his office, the one where Sarah had, and it broke the head off. And I love that was his assumption. I thought that was a perfect little tie-in of like, okay, she broke this statue. Let's make him think that he's the next one that's going to be killed.
That really worked in his favor.
It really did. I love here that he says, all I really wanted to do was make a classic love story, but the studio said I had to do a horror film first. And that's literally Wes Craven putting this into the film because all he wanted to do was make a movie called Music of the Heart, but they're like, no, we need screams first. We need scream, horror, scream. And then he did that, and then he got to make his film, Music of the Heart, a romance with Meryl Streep. Who knew?
Again, so meta.
Who knew?
So meta. Kincaid then questions Roman, saying that it was believed that Sarah had talked to him last night, but Roman is super adamant that that was not him. And he then gets taken down to the station for questioning.
I love that Jennifer is like, you remind me to never sleep with Roman again.
I love. She's just so honest and open about her life as an actress.
I love her.
Then back with Sydney, she gets a weird call on the crisis hotline as she's working. And at first, it's like a normal person. And then I believe it turns into her mother's voice a little bit, but she stays on the line to sort of see where it's going. The person says that they've killed someone. Then she looks at her caller ID like on her phone, and she can actually see that the phone call is coming from somewhere on her home line. And she really like freaks the fuck out. They tell her to turn on the news where she learns of another killing. And they say, do you think it's over, Sydney? Sydney then grabs a gun for protection and notices that one of her windows are wide open.
What clicked for me here is I was like, oh yeah, Sydney's in this movie. Then I remembered that production only had her for 20 days.
Really?
So they really had, once they learned that fact, they had to rearrange the film. So if you notice, this movie really is about Courtney and Dewey.
Yeah.
Courtney and Dewey. Dewey and Gail. Because they had to restructure it because Neve wasn't going to be around for that much of the story. So then you're reminded, like, she pops back in every once in a while, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is about Sydney.
Question real quick before we move on. How did you feel about Ghostface using her mom's voice? Like, to me, that would have sent my stomach into my butt.
I would have been mad.
No, totally. Mad and fucking pissed off.
Obviously
sad.
frightened at first, like what the fuck at first, and then I would want to slap the shit out of Ghostface. How dare you?
I think it has like a big chilling element to it. Can you imagine not hearing your mom's voice for so long after she was murdered and then hearing her voice? Fuck that.
And especially now because our characters don't know this technology is capable necessarily. So they're like, actually, what the fuck?
Oof. Then that scene is done. We have no idea where things left off with Sidney's like open window.
She literally just stands there and looks worried and has a gun, and then we cut to back at Jennifer's place.
Yeah, we're back there, and Mr. Warbutton, her security Stone, he is checking the perimeter while Jennifer's inside with Tom, Angela, and Dewey. Tom, her co-star, who's supposed to be playing Dewey, is pissed and is like ripping up the script. He just thinks like basically that all these murders are totally ruining everything for him, which, that's true.
And everybody else in the house is like, stop, Tom, you're scaring me. Like, what else is he supposed? He's mad. He's mad. He's frustrated. There's someone trying to kill him potentially.
And he's with his cast,
They're targeting that entire room. Where else is he going to go,
Yeah. Gail, I love this part. She then shows up and I think she knocks on the door at first, but no one answers. So she kind of goes around to one of the windows and she spies a little bit on Jennifer and Dewey as they're talking about her and how closed off she is. And Jennifer says at one point, God, Dewey, you make it sound like you're still in love with her. And
honestly, he does sound like he's
it's freaking obvious, right? But Stone then finds Gail and brings her inside. It's such a classic getting caught doing something and you're in trouble.
He's like, we have one Gail, we don't need two, implying that Jennifer's the Gail they need. And I'm just, why does Stone shame Gail and Dewey so much?
Shame.
Is he obsessed with Jennifer? Fuck.
He might be.
Hey. All right. Aren't we all?
Dewey and Gail then leave to go talk about how Roman was released after the cops found the call to Sarah didn't actually come from him. So he has been like cleared in this instance. Gail then also tells him that Maureen seems to have a very interesting past where she didn't live in Woodsboro for almost 2 years before she met Sidney's dad. Some of the photos that keep being found at like the crime scenes of the killings are from her around 20-ish years old. And Gail's having a hard time trying to figure out what was happening during that time when those pictures were taken. And Dewey actually finally makes a connection with one of the photos that he knows of Jennifer, and he compares it to Maureen's photo and finds that it's the same exact background, and it was taken at Sunlight Studios, where Stab 3 is currently being filmed. So now we have this huge connection.
And something that I love specifically about Scream 3 is it throws random shit at us and expects us to just go with it. Like, oh, what? We didn't tell you Maureen is a failed actress and nobody in her family ever talked about it and thought that it was weird that she was a theater major in college and her film-obsessed boyfriend tried to kill her.
Sometimes I hate when shit like that happens because it's just so purely written in to move the story along, you know? And it's just, like you said, you're like, oh, okay, sure.
Don't you remember?
Yeah, don't you remember that? Of course we didn't know 2 years of Maureen's past and she was working in horror films.
Duh.
Of course. Then, as Stone is snooping around Dewey's trailer, he's actually inside Dewey's trailer and just looking around, doing who knows what. He gets a call that sounds like Dewey asking him to come back inside to look after Jennifer.
Something so fucked is he's mocking Dewey on the phone while he thinks it's him, and he fucking brings up how his sister was killed in like a joking way.
So sad.
And I'm also... why is he the only one to ever bring up Tatum? We never talk about Tatum. Is Dewey okay?
I would love to talk about Tatum. I love that icon.
We don't talk about Tatum.
Never seen it.
Me either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, inside Jennifer's house, after Dewey and Gail have their little talk, they come back out into the living room and notice that there's no one there at first, but then all of a sudden the door swings open, but no one's there. Then the cast all of a sudden kind of shows up and they're all really jumpy, rightfully so. And outside where that door was open, Stone is seen walking up to the front door and he's walking really slow. But the cast, they didn't know that he was actually attacked by Ghostface in Dewey's trailer.
And he collapses right in the doorway and his last words are dewdrop.
Why is that so Kronk-coded?
It's so Kronk-coded.
I'm so like, wait. Did Emperor's New Groove come out before or after?
Oh, good question.
Can someone, producer, can you look it up?
I want to say before.
Same year. Oh, jeez.
It's a big button year.
Pull the lever, Kronk.
That was really good.
Well, anyways, don't fucking kill Kronk, okay?
What a big year.
Dewey inevitably orders everyone to come inside at first. It's kind of funny, this scene. They go like back and forth. He tells everyone to come inside. Then the lights go out. And then they're like, okay, let's go outside.
It's very Clue coded.
Yes.
Like this room, that room, this room.
And they all just like blindly follow.
Yeah, and with the music like.
Yeah. And so then they go outside. Then they go back inside because they notice that Jennifer is getting a fax.
Can I ask you, have you ever sent or received a fax?
I have.
Wow.
When I worked at a gym, this is so random, but we had a fax machine / printer, and every once in a while, a very old school person would send in a fax of their cancellation.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It was crazy.
Producer is shaking his head because he also worked at said gym.
Yes. We didn't work
Not
there
together.
at the same time, but
Yeah.
but anyways, I was there first.
But it's part of their love story.
It is part of our story. It is. It turns out though that this fax it's part of the script, but it's like kind of rewritten to their current situation, which like how the fuck did that happen?
Also, it's coming out one by one, so
Yes.
they're not knowing what's coming next.
Which is kind of cool. Honestly, kind of love that for this scene. But as everyone goes then back outside, Tom decides to go in because he wants to go in and grab that last page to find out like what's happening. And he turns on a lighter in order to read it. And all of a sudden, basically, Ghostface had loosened the gas line somewhere in the house, apparently. And the whole thing just fucking explodes.
So he's reading it while his lighter's up, and he says, "The killer will give mercy to whoever smells," and then boom. And this whole scenario had to be situationally perfect for Ghostface to achieve what he did.
Can I ask you, like, does this explosion, does it feel too action movie?
It feels so circumstantially like, okay, Tom's gonna have a lighter. He's definitely gonna open it and like want to go back inside and read it. How does everything line up so perfectly? It seemed too coincidental, not so actiony like, but like slapsticky almost. Like, of course, it all lined up.
I think it's also, I'm sorry to say, guys, but I just think it's a little, it's trying to be big. You know, we don't need a big fucking explosion. That's not how Ghostface kills people.
I appreciate the attempt at creativity, though.
But is it creativity, or did they just think a boom would be fun?
No, I think the creative part was making them all scramble about.
True. Like Clue.
Yeah, like Clue. Got a chuckle out of us?
That's true.
That was the song, that cadence. Got a
chuckle
chuckle out of us. That's true.
That's true. Let's get into it.
So at this point in the movie, to be honest, it's the part where I stopped paying attention. I basically know the entire first half of this movie to a T, verbatim, line by line, and then I start to remember or not remember anything because I forget that I'm watching this movie.
So it loses you.
It loses me.
It loses you.
And
do you
yet
know
it's my
why?
Are you about to tell me?
No, I'm like truly asking, like, have you analyzed maybe
because
why?
It starts to get into jumble mishmash scenes.
Yeah,
which
I know it does.
Which happens at the end of every Scream movie. It gets like aggressive with its kills all real fast, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
It's like it's rushing to get done.
Yeah.
Well, all that to say, this scene also kind of confuses me a tiny bit because after this explosion, they were all in the backyard. And so Dewey ends up falling down a hill in the backyard. And when he gets up, he sees Gail, but she's like down another hill. So he didn't fall like all the way down the hill.
Why are all these cars here? And like, where are all these hills coming from?
And how is she all of a sudden now down below him?
Where are these hills coming from?
I'm not going to question it too much, but it's kind of weird. And she calls out to him as Ghostface actually tries to grab her and stab her, but Dewey is able to intervene and he shoots Ghostface multiple times and he kind of crashes against the car. Gail thinks she's safe at first. And then I think once Dewey gets down there, they find that Ghostface has somehow escaped. As they embrace.
Somehow they're almost kissing?
Yeah.
What?
I think because, you know, it was like a close call. They're like, oh my God. And right as they're about to kiss, Jennifer interrupts and she gets really mad at Dewey for leaving her.
Okay. She punches Dewey and Gail punches her. Why are we all fighting over Dewey?
These are all great questions.
Does Dewey have that magic?
I think he does.
Okay.
I think he does.
All right.
He got that magic stick. I know I can get once.
Isn't that a song?
Yes.
Isn't that wild?
That's what I was singing.
Isn't that wild that we are just allowed to listen to that?
No, total. I had no idea what a magic stick was. I was thinking like the spirit stick in Bring It On when that song first came out.
I was probably thinking of those pixie sticks, those tall ones.
See?
Yeah.
There's a lot of sticks out there.
Whoa.
So after this whole like fighting over Dewey nonsense, all of a sudden they all get like interrupted by Angelina coming kind of out of the shadows of a tree. And she's like visibly shaken up. But Dewey seems like slightly suspicious of where she's been and is kind of questioning her, I think, a little bit of like, they kind of like lost track of her, I think, for a second.
Like you said, they're like, where the fuck did you come from? And she's just like, oh, but Tom was in the house. And they kind of go back to ignoring the fact that her being there is suspicious.
Then Dewey finds another photo of Maureen back when they're like up at his trailer. And this time it says, I killed her on the back.
I don't understand how Ghostface keeps casually dropping these photos.
This actually reminds me that one time I had an ex-boyfriend who I printed out a bunch of photos of Nicolas Cage and I would just like hide them around his room and around like every like 3 months. Like there'd be like another one I hid somewhere and then he would find it.
That's such a you thing to do.
I don't really know why I did it, to be completely honest, but producer, would you like that?
Would you like a different variation?
Are you looking at me like you're pissed that I haven't done that? Oh, okay. I kind of forgot until just now when we were talking. I don't even know why. I think I was like really trying to annoy this person though. It wasn't like an act of love.
So like Wicker Man, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
And like Con Air.
Oh no, brother, no.
I would hide that one like on his pillow. Like, yeah. There's probably still one to this day that he hasn't found. And I'm going to get a random text one day that's like, God damn it, Emma.
Not the wife beater.
I know. Later, Kincaid, Dewey, and Gail are all together. And they're discussing the killings, and Kincaid is getting restless, not being able to talk to Sidney or knowing where she is, which is kind of a little bit red herring behavior.
It's very red herring behavior, and he's getting heated and saying, I need to know where she is. This will be helpful. Tell me where she is. And also, Dewey is standing still with his thought of, okay, but what do these killings have to do with Sidney? Brother, what?
My favorite part here, though, is how easily he crumbles. Kincaid only asks like twice, and then he's like, okay, let me try to call her.
Dewey is nothing if not a crumble.
He's a little crumble cookie, isn't he? Oh my gosh. They should make a Dewey flavor.
He's a crumbly bubbly. It would probably just taste like, ice cream because he likes ice cream.
Yeah, he does like ice cream. So right as he's trying to call Sidney, guess who walks into the station? Frickin' Sidney Prescott. And her and Dewey have like a very short little reunion, but then things get immediately down to business and she wants to help.
I find this irksome a little bit for a couple reasons.
Ooh, that's a good word.
Yeah, I pulled out my thesaurus. She's literally wearing the exact same outfit as she does in Scream 2.
Hey, I kind of like that. Outfit repeater.
That's totally fine. She's, a sustainable queen.
She is.
But it's literally the same, and I can say that with confidence because I watched it last night.
And just with this being a movie, why did she do that?
Also, she's still wearing Derek's fraternity lavalier around her neck.
Those are things I did not notice.
She fully is. And I'm like, wait, how long ago was this?
That's what my question is. Like, it's not like it was just 2 weeks ago. Like, we had a whole arc of Dewey and Gail's relationship crumbling.
I want to say it was a good, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to say 6 months at the least.
6 months.
No, I'm saying like at the absolute least.
But maybe don't wear those anymore, girl.
Interesting.
What a weird, to me, it felt like she wasn't that serious about Derek in Scream 2.
Yeah, and then, okay, just wearing his, what'd you call it?
Lavalier.
It was like a lavender.
Ooh, lavender.
Something.
I want a lavender lemonade.
Obviously very intentional, but kind of interesting. I would love to know more. So Sidney then shares that the killer called her, which immediately ups the antes in this entire case because not only do they have all these killings that have been happening in Hollywood, but also Ghostface has gotten in contact with Sidney, who was in hiding. They all deduce that Jennifer and Kincaid are the only two that have used Dewey's phone and could have had access to Sidney's contact info, which immediately makes them a little bit suspicious.
LOL, the cloud could never. Also, Sidney is admitting to not knowing anything of her mom ever having any kind of modeling or actress career. Maureen, who you be, girl?
Truly, truly. So Sidney, rightfully so, asks to get taken to the places that her mom had her headshots taken. They go to the studio, and I think they drive in like a couple separate cars. And at one point, Detective Kincaid is with his cop partner or what have you. The cop partner stays, but Detective Kincaid tells him that he has to leave to, quote unquote, go talk to the studio brass about the photos. But the other detective jokes that he knows where he's going. And I never understood what that joke was.
It's so funny you brought this up because this is, to me, a half-boiled attempt at us trying to think Kincaid is interested in Sidney. And where that doesn't work is they don't do enough of this, of like trying to bring it up and planting it in our face. They don't do enough of that. Also, they literally just met.
I was totally equally confused. Like, why are we even, what?
The way his partner says it, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to allude to the fact that, oh no, you know, Kincaid has a crush on Sidney.
Okay. Yeah, it just like totally, it didn't fit.
It's so half-baked.
Yeah, it's half-baked. It did not fit.
Pretty sure I said half-boiled too. It's half-baked and half-boiled.
I love that.
Thank you.
On set, Sidney, Dewey, Gail, they all run into Martha, Randy's sister, who has apparently come from Woodsboro to Hollywood to kind of meet up with them because she has a tape that's from Randy.
Another one of those situations where it was like, oh yeah, remember Martha, Randy's sister? Didn't we tell you?
She was in Princess Diaries. Hello.
Yeah, Princess Diaries. Another great year for Heather Matarazzo. She was in this and Princess Diaries.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's here and she's in the production trailer on this studio lot. Duh.
I questioned that too when I was watching it with the producer, and he said that I was like, my only thought process could just be that she showed up to set and they were like, go ahead and just wait in this trailer, I guess. Like,
how would she even, anyways?
I have no idea.
But she's here and she's showing us this tape, and it's this cute little tape, and it's nice to have him tied into this movie in this way. It's basically saying, okay, if you're watching this, I'm dead and you're maybe next.
Yeah.
Talking about how they were in a sequel and now they're in a trilogy, and the trilogy rules are different.
Yep. And he lays out some of these rules in case the killer comes back. And just like you said, the same rules usually apply, but now there's a little bit of a twist because they are dealing with a trilogy.
And he really harpens on the fact that trilogies are meant to deal with things that we think are true but are not. And the first rule is our killer will be superhuman. Obviously, for that one, I was like, isn't the killer always superhuman?
Well, I think that's what he's saying. Things we would think are true but are not.
Totally. The second rule is main characters can die, and he specifically says that means you, Sid. And then the last one is that the past will come to bite you in the ass.
To me, none of these rules are like life-changing, but I did love this part a lot, having Randy there. And a fun fact, actually, about this scene is that production ended up with almost 2 hours of footage for Randy's tape. And I would love to see that.
I want to see that movie.
Yeah, where is that?
Just put that on and give me some popcorn. I'm good.
Jamie Kennedy should just be playing that at his comedy sets.
It's so funny because I feel like Jamie Kennedy is Randy Meeks.
No, he is. He absolutely
in real
is.
life.
Gail then peels off from Dewey and Sid, and she's trying to learn a little bit more about Maureen's past.
She's saying she works better alone.
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm not sure about that.
Speaking of alone, it's hilarious because Jennifer creeps up on her and says that she's going to stay with her to avoid getting killed, because essentially, like, if she stays with Gail and Gail ends up being the next to be killed, she can kind of just offer the real Gail instead of her.
Yeah, she kind of frantically says, where you go, I go. If they're trying to kill you, they're not killing me, so I'm by you.
Yeah. Jennifer ends up being really helpful, though, because Gail's trying to get into the archives building and can't get in, and Jennifer has like a studio key card or whatever.
She's like, oh really? Gail Weathers would find a way, and she pulls out her little studio card.
They meet up with the archives lady who is going to help them find her records. And I love this part because this is none other than the most amazing Carrie Fisher, and she always has the most iconic fucking cameos.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly, Jamie Lee Curtis was offered this role but turned it down.
That would have been epic too.
It would have been epic too, but I think Carrie Fisher was perfect for this role.
She's just R.I.P. Queen.
R.I.P. Queen.
She's just the best. And she's like kind of talking shit on herself.
She for sure is. There's a picture of her as an actress like at her desk, and both Gail and Jennifer are like, are you? And Bianca is this character's name, Bianca Burnett. She's like, nah, wasn't me. I tried out for Star Wars, but fucking this bitch got it.
It's so funny. It's
iconic.
So funny. So the gals come to find out that Maureen actually had a small acting career, and she had some connections to horror producer John Milton. And her stage name was Rena Reynolds. She was in a lot of really early shitty horror films, apparently. Then while in the bathroom, Angelina runs into Sidney, and Sidney finds that she has a voice changer and a mask, and it's making her look super, super guilty. And one thing I want to point out here that we didn't mention in an earlier scene with Angelina is that I think in the script she was originally supposed to be like one of the Ghostface.
She was supposed to be one of the killers, but then they rewrote around that, which is why it's kind of sloppy. But she's caught taking souvenirs, but she's literally saying, hey, I just wanted to take something from the set. And I'm...
Respect.
You know, sell that on eBay. Get that bag you were promised. Seriously.
I really loved that part. And like you said, it's a little bit sloppy for sure. But I did like that she's like, hey, I just like wanted to take something from set. Because I'm sure people do that all the time.
Oh my God, I would take so fucking much.
Yeah.
I'd be fired just because of that.
No one casts Allie in unless you're ready to be
literally
without.
I'm going to turn, you know how Leprechaun has his shed full of shit?
Yeah.
If I worked on sets, it'd be just set souvenirs.
Angelina leaves the bathroom, but she forgets her brush. And Sid tries to go after her, but doesn't end up finding Angelina. And instead finds herself alone on the replica Woodsboro set, which is very eerie.
And the set is a replica of her house where all these murders happened in Woodsboro all those years ago. And this made me think that this is what all movie sets were like when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like you walk into the set and it's a full ass house.
And like almost a little town or
almost
like a little block.
Like a little dollhouse.
Yes. Yeah.
And all the rooms were inside of the main building. So I thought that's what all sets were like.
Yeah.
And so seeing that made me think of like a magical playland.
I've always thought it would actually be really, really cool to work in set production and like set design. I think that would scratch an itch that I have for sure.
We should do something like that.
I'm down.
I have that same itch.
I'm down. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
See you later, fuckers.
And on that note, stay spooky, fucker. We're out.
We're out.
Just kidding. Just kidding. But after Sidney is walking around a little bit, she ends up in her old quote unquote bedroom and starts having some memories and hearing some like voices of conversations of her and Billy. She then hears some other strange noises, including like the set bedroom door closing, and she grabs her pepper spray just to have herself kind of like ready to go should anything go down. As she stands near the bedroom window, Ghostface grabs her and they get into a bit of a fight. They get into like a little bit of a chase and Ghostface stalks her through some of the Woodsboro sets. She's trying to escape and trying to call out to Dewey, but at one point she loses track of Ghostface within this entire set. She then hears her mom's voice telling her to come up to her mom's mock bedroom depicting where her mom's murder happened. Whew, that is like some heavy shit.
Honestly, bro, for somebody who claims this as my favorite film in the franchise, I don't remember this fucking part.
Yeah, that to me was like, whoo, wow. As her mother's like body, quote unquote, gets up and walks towards her and it's underneath one of those sheets that they put over dead bodies. Sidney jumps out of the window, but luckily lands safely on the set ground. And suddenly, all the lights turn on, people come in, Dewey's there, and he's like with some of the cast and the detectives. And of course, they lose Ghostface again.
And it's so funny as Dewey's coming to run out to check on Sidney. Next time you watch it, just watch his run. It's so intolerable. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
Is it because he's got his little limp, or is it even worse?
I can't picture it. It reminds me of like a feather trying to understand that it's a feather. I don't understand.
What a good metaphor. I love that.
I don't know what I just said, but that's what it was. Check it out.
Sid then leaves with Kincaid, and it's become pretty pertinent that they need to take her to some sort of like safe house.
He literally says, we're going to take you to a safe house. What does that mean?
I think it's just these weird things that they have that are kind of close to like the station and not super far away. It's not like a full witness protection thing, but it's sort of like somewhere that no one would expect her to be, I guess. Then Jen, Gail, and Dewey all talk about what they've learned about Maureen, and they're kind of getting each other up to speed on what's going on with that producer, John Milton, as well.
Then they actually go to Milton's office, and Roman's already there, and he's complaining about how his movie's being killed and he's never going to work again. And Milton's just like, hey, it adds to your mystique. He's like, oh, all these killings are going to help me get work? It's like, oh my God, such a character tell.
Yeah.
But that's when the rest of the gang walks in, and it's kind of funny. This entire scene, you get a lot of ties back to the Weinstein situation. And it's interesting because this movie, Scream 3, was being produced by the Weinsteins. A lot of this Milton and Roman and studio situation relationships kind of reflect
what was really happening.
What was really happening.
Yeah.
Saying that Maureen had been in Milton's, kind of smutty horror films.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting more information that Milton did know who Sidney's mom was.
And he didn't say anything because of the press, because he was like avoiding being a suspect. And we also learned that he had these like parties in the 70s, which to your point, it's kind of reflective of real times back then.
Seriously, he literally says in the movie, I brought young girls there to help them with their careers, and nobody did anything they didn't know they were getting themselves into. And he would bring women there to meet with, quote unquote, meet with older producers and get their foot in the door. Come on, we know that shit happens and bad things happen because of it.
Oh, yeah. And it's even with the Me Too movement, unfortunately, obviously it's brought in like a lot of light to this. But again, like another meta aspect, but one that's like almost, it's such a bummer that it is something that does happen in real life.
Yeah, I just thought it was so ballsy that they were kind of speaking this language while the film had so much to do with the Weinstein Company.
Yeah.
Way to stick it to the man.
Way to stick it. I don't know about you, but I want to revisit this whole like Sidney on set thing, because to me, that was like really emotional and like nostalgic too. I'm so happy that Wes kept that in the film and decided to do like the replica Woodsboro sets, because I could feel Sidney's apprehension of walking through, but also her curiosity.
Definitely curiosity, but morbid curiosity, I would say.
Yeah.
And I know that would probably break me to revisit something so lifelike that caused me so much pain.
You said something a little earlier too before of like, obviously Sidney's got a guard up too. Where does she break?
Totally.
You know? So then back at the police station, this is actually where they've taken Sid instead of a fucking safe house, as she's just at the police station. Sid asks Kincaid about what he knows about trilogies.
And it's funny that we tie this back to film knowledge again. We can gather that Kincaid also likes movies. I also want to point out the fact that where has Kincaid been? And it's funny because the producers of this movie realized halfway through, they're like, oh, we forgot that we had this character.
It's going to be real sketch if he doesn't show up.
So let's just quickly write him back in. And then, remember, here, let's pop back in with Kincaid.
So much chaos.
Like, let's hire him 3 days before, but we're going to forget about it. Forget about him.
And during their conversation too, he says some like really strange things to her. Again, just giving us this like red herring sort of thing. And he talks a little bit about his love for movies too, I believe, when they're having this conversation.
Just knowledge about how trilogies are different than sequels. And I love that he goes into talking about how he's haunted because of what he's seen as a cop. And I feel like he's flirting with me, and it's working.
You're like, I'm down.
Also, do you ever think Patrick Dempsey looks down at his millions and then thinks, remember that time I was in Scream 3?
I think that there is a plethora of actors who have been in horror films, big or small, within their career. And there are some that just fucking absolutely love it. There's probably some that fucking hate it too.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking Jennifer Aniston in Leprechaun. She like did not like that experience.
God, I hope she's cool enough to realize that's iconic.
I hope the times have changed.
Yes.
But yeah, I do wonder that as well. Kincaid then inevitably leaves Sidney, and he leaves her at the station so that he can go and search the set.
He's like, I believe you saw what you saw because the rest of the people said you were hallucinating. It wasn't real.
Yeah.
You weren't meant to see that blood thing because we knew it'd fuck you up.
And right before he leaves, she asks him what his favorite scary movie is, and he says, My Life.
Not only does that, he gets real fucking close to her face.
Like, just kiss.
Just kiss already.
And she whispers, Me too. It's like, okay, wait, what was the point of that? Anyways, back with the trio. That's what I'm going to call them. Jennifer, Dewey, and Gail.
It's funny because it sounds like Dewey, Huey, and Louie.
It does. And they're a little trio too. Yeah. Dewey gets a call from Sidney asking for them to meet her at John Milton's mansion because Milton, quote unquote, has something to tell her about her mother. We know at this point, you guys, that's fucking Ghostface using the voice changer thing. It's him.
I want to shout out this house they're about to go to as well because it was used as the school in Halloween H2O.
I did not know that.
And I would like to go on record as saying Halloween H2O is my favorite of the Halloweens.
I can't wait until we do that one for you.
My God, I don't even know when. Like, what? How
When
many?
will that happen?
When will that happen?
We could skip around. We have no rules.
Josh Hartnett.
We make
is
the rules.
personally asking me when we're going to cover.
I fuck with Josh Hartnett.
I know.
We talked about Trap earlier too. Is this a Josh Hartnett podcast?
I think it might be.
Let's watch Penny Dreadful after
watch
this.
Pearl Harbor.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Let's watch The Faculty again.
Oh my God, we got to get through this so we can.
Okay. Anyways, the remaining cast, we find out, is actually at Milton's mansion already. And the trio shows up and Roman says that Sid isn't there. He doesn't know.
He's like, I didn't invite her.
Yeah, but they kind of all deduce that she must be like on her way still. So no one really questions it that hard.
Also, for some reason, they bring up that it's Roman's birthday and this is his birthday party. There's like so many like
it's a sad birthday party.
I know, but all of these half-baked little plot points, I'm like, let's just not.
Yeah, let's have a birthday party with your cast who you are literally kind of like paying them all to be there. I mean,
they're
I guess,
dying.
Yeah. Okay.
But happy birthday.
So, anyways.
That'd be me though. I'd be like, it's my fucking birthday.
Come to this mansion that's not even mine. And speaking of that, the cast and Roman decide to go explore the mansion while Dewey and Gail decide to stay back as they want to wait for Sidney to arrive.
Although it looks like super cool and we are curious, would you explore someone's mansion while they're not there and there's a murder on the loose?
I think I would only do it if like everyone was going, not like fully splitting up. That just is stupid.
I know. I think I would be too paralyzed with fear because, I'd want to be exploring if I weren't so scared.
Same. And me, like, I'm curious, so I would also want to, but I think I would just do it with stipulations.
And this leads us into a set of scenes that I lose track and stop caring because it's just a bunch of running back and forth and screaming and stabbing.
And killing.
Killing.
So downstairs, though, back with Gail and Dewey, they decide to call back the number that called Dewey, claiming to be Sidney, and they hear the phone ringing, and they find the phone, a voice changer, and the Ghostface mask in a closet, confirming that Sidney was not the one that actually called them.
I want to throw this out there. If they can hear this phone ringing in the closet, doesn't that give you evidence that they could probably, if Ghostface was in there talking, they could probably hear Ghostface?
Yes, but I don't think he was ever in there while they were there.
Yeah, but what if he was? That's how close in proximity Ghostface has been to the
that's
victims
true.
Before. What's the over-under on the probability,
Well, I think we actually witnessed that a couple times in the first film where Billy was so close and it's like, how did Sidney not hear him talking?
It's a movie.
But
It's a movie.
I was just going to say, we can't look too deep into it.
Ruin the magic. Fuck.
Then Gail and Dewey, they split off, terrible idea, to go find the rest of the crew in the house. Gail ends up finding Roman, and she finds Roman stabbed in a coffin in the basement. And so she's like freaking out, like, holy shit. And Jennifer, out of nowhere, grabs her, and they run out of the basement together and run into Angelina. Angelina and Jennifer sort of have this like kind of, yeah, and they have like some insults thrown at each other in the middle of a hallway. And
basically, Angelina says, I didn't fuck Milton just to become a second-rate celebrity like you guys.
Yeah, so rude, by the way.
Accurate.
Yeah. And you know what? She gets yeeted and stabbed by Ghostface as she tries to leave the house. So sorry, Angelina, but bye-bye. Confirmation that she's obviously not Ghostface.
Even though in a different universe, she is.
Correct. Then they reunite with Dewey as he and Tyson get slashed by Ghostface. Tyson then...
Remember how Tyson's in this? Yeah. Where's Tyson been?
Yeah, I love him. I wish he had more screen time.
He's great.
Tyson then gets chased and killed by Ghostface, getting thrown off the balcony. Poor fucking guy. Then Jennifer gets chased through the house and into this weird closet that's like a two-way mirror, I believe.
Fucking Dewey shoots at it.
I think they're in the room of the closet, like a bedroom or what have you. Jennifer can't get out from inside. And so she's like pounding on the doors. And I think Gail like notices that the doors are moving a little bit. And so Dewey ends up shooting the glass, but not before Jennifer, unfortunately, does get killed by Ghostface. So, like, bye-bye, Gail's shadow.
By one way or another, Jennifer's dead.
Yeah. Gail then gets grabbed by Ghostface as Dewey goes to look for Tyson. And
see how it just goes like,
it's so crazy. Yeah,
and then
it's
like,
so
this
crazy.
person grabbed this person.
Gail falls down the stairs with Ghostface. And then Ghostface gets knocked out and she's sort of stuck because she can either like step over Ghostface and try to go back up the stairs or just like wait. And she's kind of paralyzed with like what to do. Then she calls Dewey to try to get help, but he doesn't believe her at first because obviously the voice changing shit, right? Ghostface then throws a knife at his forehead, which bounces off his forehead and makes him fall down the stairs.
Of course.
It's just like the craziest
set of events.
Yeah, it's wild. I'm sorry, but this like little killing spree finale to me just like doesn't feel. I mean, I guess it kind of does feel like Scream energy with all the chaos, but all of the comedic parts I think are what.
Like I said, it's just really
wild.
It's leaning into the scary movie of it all.
Are you buying anyone as the killer at this point? Like, who would you, the first time you saw this, do you remember
Honestly,
what you thought?
It could have been anybody. It's like the as everybody's running around and could be the killer.
Meanwhile, Sidney is still in Kincaid's office and she randomly finds her file. And we, as like the viewer, find out like he must have been the one that took it from the studio.
Oh my God, he's so obsessed with
her.
her.
He's obsessed. Then she gets a call and hears herself and finds that it's Ghostface. So that's like really fucking weird. Then she hears Gale and Dewey in the background as Ghostface is like threatening to hurt them if she doesn't show up and they're able to talk alone. He says to her, like, you show yourself, they survive. Don't you want to know who killed your mother? And that's supposed to be trying to get her to come to that mansion so that they can kind of do the damn thing.
He's baiting her.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ghostface is always edging himself while he's trying to kill Sidney. Like, there are several times in this movie where he could have killed Sidney already. Yeah. Obviously in 1 and 2, but he likes to edge himself. And then he misses his opportunity.
He does. Every freaking time.
Joke's on you.
Yeah.
Why you gotta edge yourself?
Sidney ends up taking Kincaid's keys and a gun that he was hiding in his desk drawer. So, like, thank God she did that.
Did you notice by chance that he has Dare papers in his drawer?
I did. Oh my gosh, Dare,
Do you think Dare's still around?
What a time. I don't think it's called Dare probably anymore, but I'm sure that they have something similar. Back with Sidney, though, she shows up to the mansion immediately seeing Tyson dead because he was thrown over the balcony and he ended up kind of by the pool. Then Ghostface calls her and says, welcome to the final act.
I also just want to throw this out there. Why do we keep calling Ghostface a he when in number 2, one of the killers was Mrs. Loomis? Have we learned nothing?
That's true. That's true. We do not know for sure.
If it's a he.
We don't. But anyways, Ghostface makes Sidney use a metal detector to, see if she has any weapons on her. And at first you're panicking, right? As the viewer, you're like, oh shit, her gun's going to get found. And it does. She reveals that she has a gun and he makes her throw it into the pool before she steps into the house. Then she sees Dewey and Gale are tied to the chairs and they're duct taped. And Ghostface attacks her as she tries to set them free. But our girl, she's thinking ahead. She had another gun on her. So she shoots Ghostface repeatedly and lets Gale and Dewey go. But of course, Ghostface disappears and gets away. Then out of nowhere, Kincaid shows up and says that he heard shots. But Sid is rightfully so very wary of him because like, where were you? And like Ghostface disappeared and now all of a sudden you're here.
And honestly, he's acting pretty erratic here.
Oh, yeah.
And how convenient that you just show up.
So convenient. And Ghostface then reappears and tries to stab Sidney from behind, but Kincaid intervenes and gets stabbed himself. And she says, you want me, motherfucker? Come and get me. We get that confirmation in that moment, like, oh no, it actually wasn't Kincaid and all of his fucking weird erratic behavior is just because he's a fucking weird erratic guy.
But seriously, what the Scream franchise has taught us is it still could be Kincaid.
Yeah, we truly don't know. Then Ghostface...
It's not, by the way.
Yeah, it isn't, though. Ghostface then chases Sidney throughout the house. She ends up in the library and finds a secret door. And in this, like, secret room, she hears her mother's voice. There's, like, home videos, like a blood sheet covered situation.
It's kind of like a prepared kill room that Ghostface has put together.
Yeah. And the mother's voice that she was like hearing ends up, of course, being Ghostface. And Ghostface comes out and says like, it's time you came to terms with me and mother. At first, like reveals that he's wearing a bulletproof vest. Then Ghostface fully unmasks himself and we find out that it's Roman Bridger, the Stab 3 director.
As we get into this, let's remember, Sidney has never met Roman.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't know what he looks like. Maybe she's heard of him because he's a director, but she does not know who Roman is.
She's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
And we quickly find out that apparently he is Sidney's half-brother, the son of Maureen Prescott, and he is and was abandoned and jealous. And he goes into this long fucking explanation about how their mom was, you know, all these things, and basically had a family with Sid and her dad, and that was all supposed to be him, and it was like taken away from him. It's like this whole thing.
Yeah, he's butthurt because he wanted a mom, but Sidney got the mom.
Yeah.
Again, another instance of, oh yeah, by the way, it's definitely possible that Sidney has a brother.
Yeah.
Half-brother.
Here's this random thing that we're just going to shove into the whole storyline. He also admits that he like kind of inspired Billy Loomis years ago after showing him a video that he had of Billy's dad and Maureen sneaking around together, making him sort of like the mastermind behind everything from the inception of the first film.
Yeah, taking a lot of credit for himself.
Yeah.
And okay, this is all making such great clear sense, right?
It's just like so slapstick.
It's such it's a half-assed attempt to tie it all together.
I also just I don't personally find Roman to be that memorable of a killer or that important to me as in the reveal, because we didn't get too much of him even in the film to develop any sort of feeling towards him.
Absolutely. I completely agree.
Yeah, it's just kind of a weird...
We don't know anything else besides he is a director.
Okay.
Literally nothing.
Yeah. We have no idea who you are.
Yeah, at least with other killers, we've gotten more context and we know more about them as people.
Yeah. So now, guys, we are entering kind of the final fight. We're almost done with this hodgepodge of shit that we love. But Gale and Dewey, they end up breaking free to try to go and help Sid. Roman shows Sid at the same time that he has John, and he wants to frame Sidney for killing John for messing with her mother years ago in Hollywood. And he's like, you're going to pay for the life that you stole from me.
So he's basically framing Sidney and fucking other people up along the way.
Correct. Yeah.
And John, while Roman is holding up a knife to his neck, John says, I'll give you whatever you want. You can even have final cut of the movies. And Roman says, I already have mine, and cuts John's throat.
Sad. Roman and Sidney then get into a physical fight.
Like physically.
And Dewey and Gale are trying to get to her, but they can't seem to figure out exactly where she is because, again, she's in that weird like secret room. Just as Roman is about to end her, Dewey then cuts the lights. And Kincaid then gets into the room and finds Sidney is still alive, but she's on the ground. And Roman, out of nowhere, attacks Kincaid, knocking him out. Then Roman grabs Kincaid's gun and shoots Sidney twice. And right as Roman is about to escape, he loses trace of Sidney. So she's kind of using his game against him. And she pops up from behind the bar and stabs him in the back. He won't go down, though, and it's like kind of comical.
It's for sure comical.
She then reveals to him, like, I've got a bulletproof vest on. It's like, okay, brother, sis. Like, you know, like matchy.
We didn't even plan this.
No, yeah. And
what a sweet moment.
It's so sweet. But, you know, inevitably she gives him a final stab right in the heart as Dewey and Gale finally get into the room and they're all reunited and they see that Roman was Ghostface all along.
I like that as he's taking his final breath, Sidney's like holding his hand.
So you just met the guy.
Yeah.
You don't even know him.
Gotta get that bonding in real quick.
Yeah. And as Sid starts to walk away, Roman actually gets up and Dewey then shoots him multiple times and finally in the head.
After Sidney says, Dewey in the fucking head.
I love it. A fun fact of this scene too is that they had to reshoot the ending. And in the original, Sidney defeated Roman almost too easily. And so they wanted to give us the impression that Sidney could actually die. Hence why it was a bit longer and like the whole bulletproof vest and all of that stuff.
I mean, it was a long scene, but I still don't think it was very effective.
I think it was anticlimactic.
It was very anticlimactic.
It didn't feel like final fight satisfaction.
It did not feel satisfying. And yet I love this movie.
Kincaid also wasn't originally in the ending because he had to be because they didn't resolve anything with his character.
They just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, he literally fell off the face of the earth and they were like, oh yeah, shit, we need to like bring it full circle that he's not Ghostface.
Like, whoop, there you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Now you're at the party too.
Yeah. I love this little last epilogue part of the film. So Dewey and Gail are with Sid, and Dewey asks Gail to sign her book for him. They're like on the porch, and they're watching Sid and her dog walk up. So they're kind of having a little bit of an alone moment, and Dewey just out of nowhere asks to sign her book for him. And it's so cute because she opens the book and he proposes to her, and it's like so adorable. Sid then walks up to meet them, and it's cute because there's this like symbolic moment where she leaves like her gate wide open and her front door open. And this is just like showing that she's got a little bit of trust and healing.
Is it symbolically leaving the door open for another movie?
And then randomly, you guys, we see Kincaid has survived and he has joined them up at Sid's property, and they're all getting ready to watch a movie together.
And then unfortunately, right after that, he leaves her to pursue medicine. Who knew?
Who knew that their potential love story was not going to last?
Seattle was calling.
Yeah. Then, as they're getting ready to watch this movie, her front door blows open, but she doesn't care. It doesn't scare her. Growth. Was this like too neat of an ending? What were your thoughts?
I mean, I loved it.
You did?
I thought it was great. I thought that little last chunk of this movie was so blam.
Yeah.
I don't watch it because it just is like throwing too much at the wall and I can't process it all. And then I come back when this cute little bow is ready for me to see it.
Well, and that kind of leads into my next question, which was like, do you feel like this trilogy stuck the landing? But I think it's like a yes and no, maybe.
I think it's a yes and no for sure, because obviously I love that this lives on. Yeah. But I think if they stopped at 3, it would have been something so different. And it could have been different in a good way or a bad way or a nothing burger way. Yeah. We don't know, because it did keep going. And I think I look at this movie kind of like I look at Star Wars, if you will. Hear me out.
Okay.
How the first 3 Screams were in the 90s/2000, right?
Yeah.
And then we get this revival in the 2010s that's now continuing into the 2020s. And it's kind of like, so how Star Wars, the original 3 came out and were prophetic. They were so popular and crazy, great. Like they're films that are so influential to everybody. And then all these years later, when we're kids, they came out with 3 new movies, right?
True.
So that's how I kind of look at the Scream franchise, is it has its first iteration and its second iteration. And you can love them separately. You can love them as a whole. You don't have to love any part of it. But that's kind of how I look at it, is I find the first 3 more rewatchable and true to what the Scream franchise is, just like I'm sure Star Wars fans feel like the first 3
they feel more connected to.
They feel more connected to. And, you know, in 4 through 6, I'm more lost. I'm not as, it doesn't pull at my nostalgia strings as much.
Yeah.
But so I'll be interested to see what they do with 7. But that's how I feel like, I don't know, I'm just more keen on the first 3.
Yeah.
What was the question?
I guess like kind of what your final thoughts were. Oh. So you went right into it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how I relate it to something else that people seem to love too, like Star Wars. I also feel like you could talk about this movie for like 12 years or just 2 minutes. Like it's either or. Like I don't.
And they both have the same substance.
Yeah, they both. The substance being, I fucking love this movie, even though it's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
I love it. What are your final thoughts?
I feel very similarly. I can't really even tell you what I love about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's lots that I hate about it, but then there's so many things that I'm just like, I don't know if it's just the way that all the characters work together, the way that it is so meta and so self-aware. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I did feel like Sidney earning her like peace at the end was a bit premature, if I'm being completely honest, because it's just like, come on, Sid. At this point, like, do you really feel safe? Like, this has happened to you now 3 times.
I mean, you got to give her a little grace.
True. Like, maybe she's just at this point, like, fuck it.
I know. And that's coming from
you gotta live
Sidney
your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's so fun. And I love the Hollywood part of it. I love when Hollywood can like make fun of itself. That's also a thing. It's not even just Scream making fun of itself, but it's Hollywood also making fun of itself. I also really loved Parker Posey. I think without Parker Posey, this would be a way different film. It did take a little bit away, I think, of the gravity of Gail for me, but I think in a good way, Parker Posey and Jennifer in the film like made up for it, if that makes sense.
And I think we did come out when this movie came out. I think it came out at such a pivotal age for us, is what I'm getting at. Just think about 2000 as a concept. And the fact that this movie came out in 2000, which was such a big thing if you lived through it at a substantial time in your life, which we did. We were kids. And it's, you know, the turn of the century. It's all these exciting actors. It's horror, which we love. And we're just kind of jumping into at this ripe young age. I just think it came out at the perfect time for young budding horror lovers like us.
Fully agree. And there's something like about this film in particular that I don't always, I mean, most of the time, I don't usually love a number 3 in a franchise or a 4 or 5, 6, what have you. Actually, now that I say that, I'm like really excited to do Leprechaun 3 next month because I fucking love when he goes to Vegas. Anyways, side note, side tangent, but I really like enjoyed this one because it's similar but different enough. And that's what all of the Screams are, is they do have those ties within each one, but they do kind of stand alone by themselves.
I fucking love this.
It's a great one.
It's an Allie's cult classic.
We got to make a letterbox list for just Allie's cult classic. Maybe we'll make one for both of us.
I'm just like, fuck you, Letterbox.
Yeah.
This is my show now.
Yeah. Well, everyone, that was Scream 3. You can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. And if you'd like some bonus content or to join our book club or check out our show notes, you can join our Spooky Chicks Social Club over on Patreon. We would love if you subscribed or followed us wherever it is that you listened, but the best way to support us is just by telling another friend who loves horror. And with that, Allison, would you like to take us out?
Fuck yeah. Trilogies don't stay trilogies long. Never stress cut your bangs. And stay spooky fuckers.